we shooting, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you gonna find us on YouTube, Couch Potato GM. Subscribe to that. Leave comments. You know, you can visit the site, couchpotatogm.com. You know, we got Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, CPGM podcast. Man, we coming.
Google Plus,
Instagram.
We everywhere.
Like, post, comment.
Yeah, definitely comments, man. And this little video we're making is because of a comment was left, man. Shout out to Super Spider-Man 92.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wanted us to debate what's the names?
Doctson, Treadwell, and Michael Thomas.
Okay, so we're gonna debate those three receivers, rookie receivers, different aspects. What we're gonna start with first? Career wise.
Yeah, career wise.
All right, let's go, man. What do you like?
Career wise.
In order.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. Treadwell's probably gonna have the best career.
SEC. Homer.
Man, I think it might be a toss up between Doctson and Michael Thomas.
Why is that?
It's because of the offense they're in. I don't know how much play Doctson's gonna get this year.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. Number two, with Michael Thomas being in New Orleans, it's kind of hit or miss. You know what I mean in terms of how many catches will he have? You know what I'm saying, a year? How many yards will he have a year? Because of that offense. So I don't.
So what about the offense though? What about the offense itself?
You mean
why is it? Yeah, why is it so hit or miss? Because you know Sean Payton's gonna put the ball in the air.
Oh, he gonna put the ball in the air, but I mean hit or miss in terms of how many targets will Thomas get this year?
Mm-hmm.
How many targets will he get throughout his years? I mean, it's so spread out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it kind of falls under the same umbrella with Doctson in terms of there's so many receivers there. Maybe you know what? I'll say this. Maybe Doctson will be have the second best career, and then it'll be Michael Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I'm. So you go Treadwell, Doctson,
and then Michael Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Doctson number one.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go Treadwell 2, Michael Thomas 3. And I think the Treadwell and Thomas is close. I think that's close. The reason Doctson, I'm gonna go with who I think the best receiver is out of the bunch. You know what I'm saying? No matter what team you on, who's the quarterback or anything, I think Doctson is the best receiver. You know, he deep, short, jump balls. You know,
red zone.
You know what I'm saying? It's open space. I think he's the guy. He's the best receiver out of those three. That's why I gotta go Doctson. And you know, you be talking about career rise. You know, Drew Brees is not spring chicken. He's getting older. You know, so how long is Michael Thomas going to have
Drew Brees there?
That elite Drew Brees. You know, maybe another 3-4 years. Maybe I'm not sure. But that's why I would put Treadwell. He coming with Teddy Bridgewater, younger quarterback. He'll probably be with him more than Brees will be with Michael Thomas. So that's why I would go with Treadwell 2, Michael Thomas 3 in terms of career.
Okay. All right. And obviously, you know, Kirk Cousins is the quarterback in Washington. But again, Headley, you're siding with who you think is the better receiver. So you'll take that from the career perspective. What about fantasy? What about 2016 fantasy?
First year fantasy.
Whew. First year fantasy. Man, I'm probably gonna go. I'm still gonna go Treadwell number one. And then I'm probably gonna go Thomas 2 and then Doctson 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Okay, Treadwell, and same thing kind of falls under his career, man. Fresh quarterback. How long Teddy been in the league? 2-3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's the missing piece. He's what they needed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, in terms of offense. And he'll take coverage away from who's the other receiver on the other side?
Diggs.
So I mean, it's what they needed. They already got a running game. And when you have that missing piece, it kind of makes things a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying? And I feel he's going to get the targets. You know what I'm saying? Because now everything is to take away Diggs or take away Peterson. That leaves Treadwell by himself, especially for this first year. And then Thomas, I feel, you know, what do they have? Brandon Cooks and who else?
Willie Snead.
Who?
Willie Snead.
Okay. And like I said before, that offense, man. It's spread out, man. I mean, is Thomas going to become the new Colston?
That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah, I mean that's what they're hoping for. But I hear Cooks. I hear Coleman a lot coming out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Don't you think Coleman had his shot last year?
That's what I think, man. I'm off that Coleman train. I think he was the talk last year, and he didn't live up to it. And now Michael Thomas is the talk this year.
What was Coleman? When was he drafted?
He might have been undrafted.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, late round undrafted guy.
Somebody to be undrafted is a big dude. You know what I'm saying? Fast dude, but.
Yeah, but they drafted this Michael Thomas in the second round. They drafted him early.
But you have Doctson below Thomas though for fantasy purposes, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about Doctson. Why? I mean, Headley has him as a top receiver among the group, but why is he at the bottom of your fantasy?
Do the Washington Redskins have?
How many good receivers do they
No,
have?
it don't matter. How many do they have?
They have Deshaun Jackson, Garcon.
They got
Jordan Reed too.
Jordan Reed. They got Crowder. You know what I'm saying?
He's gonna be.
There's a lot.
Crowder's gonna have a role. Crowder's gonna have a role.
Yeah, but Crowder's role doesn't impact Doctson at all. What you gotta look at is Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garcon.
Sure.
I think those are the two guys that can impact Doctson. But to me, I think Doctson is better than both of those guys, and I think Doctson is gonna supplant both of those guys.
But in fantasy, in
2016 fantasy,
how many targets is he gonna get when we're talking about all four of those guys? All five of those guys.
We know about Doctson long term.
Yeah,
I think we all expect him to be their number one moving forward, but beyond 2016. But 2016 fantasy,
I'm gonna break it down like this. I can tell you what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Or I can tell you what the smart thing to do is. The smart thing to do is go Treadwell. He has an opportunity, you know, and he's gonna get probably more targets out the gates. Yep. So Treadwell is probably the better fantasy receiver year one. But for me, you know, I like value. I like, you know, if I can get Doctson or a Michael Thomas later, I'm not going to risk an early pick with Treadwell because I think Treadwell's going to go before them in rounds because of his opportunity.
Right.
But I'm not going to draft this rookie receiver, you know, in the top 4 rounds or wherever he's going. I'm not sure where he's going yet, but I'm not going to draft him. I'm going to wait for Michael Thomas later on or Doctson if he falls. So that's what I would do. But Treadwell is the safer fantasy pick, in my opinion. So I agree with you there.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of mouths to feed in New Orleans and Washington, if you ask me. I think again, long term, Doctson will likely be the number one. The Redskins might decide to move on from Jackson and Garcon, but I think Jamison Crowder will be a part of their plans. And while I understand they're going to probably play a different position per se on the field,
maybe inside.
Right?
Inside.
But we're also talking about targets. Who's going to usurp the targets? Not whether or not he's actually getting snaps.
That's what you're saying.
But who's going to usurp the targets? And you know Jordan Reed is going to eat.
Yeah,
you know he's going to eat.
And everybody there, he's going to be the one to eat.
Yeah.
Jordan Reed's going to eat. Deshaun, he probably going to get hurt.
So,
you know what I'm saying? And he probably going to face Garcon out, man.
I agree with Treadwell for fantasy purposes. I agree with Treadwell. 1, I think Michael Thomas.
He's a sleeper.
2,
He's a sleeper.
and Doctson 3.
That's all I got. Yep.
Yeah.